And do you ever worry about taking on such familiar stories? I mean, you couldn't have chosen a story that had been more told than Cinderella. Yeah. I mean, and Swan Lake the same. And do you worry about, being over-familiar?
Over-familiar is good for dance, I think, and not too complex as well. Because what's great about these simple stories, and Cinderella's the classic one, is everybody vaguely knows the story of Cinderella, because there are so many Cinderella-type stories. And so it's very easy to work in a wordless storytelling with a story that people already know something about. So they get all the everyone knows there's a shoe that's found, and that's that's helpful. That's what, when he comes on with that shoe at the beginning of Act 3, you sort of know he's looking for her. You don't need to be told, because we all know that. And there's other stories like that, like Sleeping Beauty. Somehow we all know that she gets kissed. The kiss is what wakes her up. How can you explain that, really, without? So those things are helpful, and what you can do then is create a unique and very creative. You can have a very creative process around a very simple story and create something new, and then bring in all different elements and different influences, and hopefully you don't upset people too much who love the piece. Because I've had this all my career, really, with everything I've ever done, more or less, has been a famous thing. Even the musicals I've done, like Mary Poppins and My Fair Lady and things like this, they're much loved, and tamper with them at your peril. And same with Swan Lake, and same with Sleeping Beauty, all these things. So what I want to do is please the people who already love those pieces, and also introduce people to those pieces and that music that don't see it all the time or know it that well. So you're walking a tightrope, really, I think.
Is the story the hardest thing to find, do you think?
Stories, for me, is the most exciting part of a process. Is finding that story and rewriting it and bringing in all the elements that sort of suddenly go, that absolutely works. I get the parallels. I love finding a parallel or something that's in the music that was supposed to represent one thing, and then you find another way of using that music to represent something similar but different. And I love that. And that's how the story builds itself, really, around the music, which I think of as a script.